Good day and welcome to class. I welcome you this morning. So I really wanted to take my time to take you guys between the difference of literature review and empirical review. Because when I like to pass knowledge, I want everybody to know what they are doing at every point in time. Because it just came to my knowledge that I was will I say I was using them interchangeably? Yes, until I had to go through a client's work because the professor just kept returning the work, make these changes. And I was like, what's the big deal about working or doing a literature review here? I've done literature review over and over again. So I thought I was using the method of literature review for empirical review. Empirical review, their format is totally different. Yes. So for empirical review, I think it's a bulk of empirical review for works of social sciences. And there are some art and humanity courses that when they get to master levels, you begin to see empirical review in their work, including literature review. So you have to understand that there's a difference between literature review and empirical review. So at the end of this day, you'll be able to learn the similarities and their differences, knowing when to use them and how to properly structure them in your work. By the end of this tutorial, students will be able to define literature review and empirical review. You'll be able to identify the differences. You will recognize their purpose in research writing and each section correctly, and you'll be avoiding what common mistakes. So first of all, we like to define what is literature review. What is literature review? It's very important, and I think I've gone that over and over again. You get to see where I've talked, I spoke about them in various videos that we've created. But now this video I'm creating, the major purpose of me creating this video is to enlighten you purpose, on the purpose and importance of words of literature review. So you're not going to be misplacing them and using them interchangeably. So you have to understand the difference. So that's why I'm trying to ensure that I'm giving everybody the body of knowledge, like giving you the full package. Yes, I kept emphasizing something that there's no audience zone here. So the first thing you have to understand about literature review is a critical discussion of concepts, theories, and existing knowledge related to research topics. I emphasize this over and over again. I said for you to start any particular research, you don't go from picking a topic to start writing. No, you have to go and conduct literature review. Why is it important? You want to know what other authors have done. You want to know what other scholars have done. You want to know what they have not done that you're not bringing in order to cover the body of knowledge. Because if somebody has already written about what you want to write on, why is there a need for you to write on it? There is no need. You are just like wasting time when it comes to that. So that's just that about that. So first of all, we're going to be talking about the differences between literature review and empirical review. So understanding this will help you to structure your work properly, perfectly, and also words and timely. Yes, you understand them, not using them interchangeably like I have always done, thinking they were the same thing. So just like that. So for first of all, literature review is a critical discussion of concepts, theories, and existing knowledge related to the research topic. It explains what scholars have written about the subject. It provides the theoretical foundation for the study. Yes. So examples of literature review topic: impact of social media on academic performance. So maybe this is your topic now. If you want to create a literature review for this one, how will you do it? You'll be like, okay, social media refers to internet-based platform that facilitate interactions and information sharing. According to Smith, 2022, social media has transformed communication among students. That is what have other authors said concerning that particular topic. I kept repeating it and saying it over and over again. That your literature review, it must be relating. That is, you cannot be reviewing a book on bank and you are writing on social media. It is not meeting each other. It is not meeting each other. So for every book you're going to be reviewing, you must ensure that those books that they are similar to the particular topic you're talking about. So from your concepts, your definition, and your theories. And I think I gave slides, I gave samples. Yes, I gave samples, I gave templates so that you'll be able to recognize. So you'll be able to recognize the literature review when you come across them. So now what is empirical review? An empirical review examines previous studies conducted by researchers. Yes, you see almost similar. It focuses on methodologies, findings, and gaps. You see, this one is different. The first one tells us that it will tell you about the existing body of knowledge That is what literature review tell you about. Now, for empirical studies, it said to tell you the methodology. And I told you that there are various methodologies in research writing. Is that you're going for the quantitative? Is that you're going for the qualitative? So to tell you, okay, this particular researcher, this is the method he's using accessing the information he access. This is the findings he was able to get from that particular work. And this was the gap that this person was able to cover. For literature review, you are looking for what the researcher did, what he didn't do that you want to do. So it shows what has already been what investigated. So the differences between what empirical review and literature review. Yes, so let's continue. Examples of empirical review. We have, okay, impact of social media on academic performance. Okay, if you want to do empirical review for this, you see this. You see Adebayo 2023 surveyed 300 university students and found that excessive social media use negatively affected academic world performance. You see this one. That one was telling you what the man said on the literature review. Then the empirical review now is not giving you like is quantifying it for you. This is what this person did. This is what he found out. So he's telling you the research method and also what the findings, which is very good. Now to number 7, what is the major differences? Literature review they discuss concept and theory. That is just what it does. The empirical review discusses previous studies. Yes, concept means like okay, your definitions and various things. Okay, I'm reviewing this room. This is what the person said. This is the definition is given. This is what the theory you are. We are able to extract from this. And we now go to previous studies. On empirical review, it discusses previous studies. This is what these studies, the method this person conducted. This is how the person went about it, and this is the findings and the gap he was able to cover. Literature review answers what is known. Empirical review answer what has been studied. Literature review answer what is known. Empirical review answers what has been what has been studied. So that's what you need to know. So literature review help you to answer what is already known, while empirical review able to answer what has been studied. So comparison table, literature review, it talks about conceptual and theoretical, it explains variables and it builds what? It builds on your what? Understanding. While the empirical review, evidence-based, it reviews past studies, identify research gaps. It is evidence-based, it reviews past studies, it identifies research what? Research gap. So you get to see that it's from literature empirical review, you will talk more on what the research gap. While literature review helps you to build on what on the understanding. So whenever you now see this particular two of this, like you are seeing the literature review and you are seeing empirical review, you will now get to understand that this is what you are going to do in this particular work. Because there are some work, especially master's level and PhD thesis, that require you to use both interchangeably, that will require you to use both. Like your literature review, you see where there's literature review, you see where there's empirical review. So you know that in this literature review, this is what I'm looking for here. What is the definition? What are the various variable differences? What is the understanding I'm building on from this particular work that has already been done? So literature review helps you to know what is known, what has been known, what has been discovered. While empirical review help you to find evidence. They are evidence based on what? On facts like that. So maybe that means for moving a particular work, you can get literature review, you can also get empirical review. Like this, for example, maybe I pick a particular book. From this particular book now, I can extract literature review from inside. I can also extract what empirical review. As so in his work, this is what he said. These are his past findings. This is the gap he was able to identify. Same thing like that. So that's that about that. So how to write empirical review? You search for related studies. Yes, your work, whatever book you are using, it must be related to words. Whatever book you are using, it must be related to what am I calling it? Whatever book you're using, it must be related to yes, must be related to your topic or your research topic. It must state authors, it must state the year, it must explain the methodology that those people use, summarize your findings, identify gaps in what in the study. You summarize your findings on that paragraph, you now identify gaps. What are the gaps in these particular studies? So it is very important. Common mistakes to avoid. Mixing concept with research findings. Yes, you need to avoid that. That is literature review. Listing studies without what analysis. And just, oh, this one said, this one without what, and properly analyzing it. Probably going in depth into it. There's some people that will say they reviewed a book, they'll just bring just 5 lines out of that book. No, that's not possible. If you are reviewing a book over 30 pages, there's no how you should be able to get more than 5 paragraphs of what the author said. One talking on concept, another one analyzing the book on what's the method you use, another one the findings in use, and they are all properly structured. So failing to identify research gaps, don't fail to identify research gap. What is the gap in that work? What is that thing that the person didn't do that your work is going to be doing differently? And ignoring what? Proper references. So you have to understand that some departments that require inter citation, that is with every work you are doing, there must be inter citation. Why some they require referencing, why some they require end notes. I've shown you the differences. Why some they require you to finish the work in order for you to include references. Why some will require you to what? Use your interest referencing either APA or MLA. So understand what your department work wants and work along with it. Conclusion. Literature review and empirical review serve different word purposes. Strong research projects require both what? Both sections. Yes, they require both sections. That's why you see master's work. It always requires both sections. So understanding their differences will improve your research what? Quality. From there, the questions and what? And discussion. So that's that about that. Yes, the video is no more than 11 minutes. It's short, it's precise, it's direct. You should understand this is the major thing you have to go with home today. Search for related studies, state authors and years. So they are searching for related studies. What does it also imply? They are searching for books. From the writing on local journal on transport system, you look for books that are all on transport system or what on local journal. So you look for what did this author say? What did this one say? What's this one saying differently? You state the authors, you state their year, you explain the method they use in conducting that particular research and getting their findings. You summarize all what they find out, and from there you now identify the gap in the study. So I hope with this viewpoint of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you. So this is that about that. So see you in my next class. Thank you.